everyone, welcome to Live Interactive English. This is Karen.
Hello everybody, this is the Great Stone Face Shane.
Today we're looking at day one of our story called The Great Stone Face. Not Shane. And the vocabulary words are cottage.
Cottage.
The old woman lives in a small cottage in the valley.
Observe.
Observe.
Sharon sat on the grass and observed the moon in the night sky.
Wow. Suggest.
Suggest.
The way he walks suggests a very confident man.
Are you talking about me?
That's right.
Facial.
Facial.
I use a facial scrub every night before bed.
And you really do.
I do.
Responsible.
Responsible.
A delayed flight was responsible for her being late.
Okay.
So we're talking about a story.
And the character is named Ernest.
That's right.
I like that name, Ernest.
I like that name too.
Because Ernest could mean honest too, right? All right, so let's learn something about Ernest. So who's Ernest? Where does he live?
Ernest lives in a cottage.
He lives in a cottage.
Right, with his mom.
In a valley.
That's right.
It's overlooking the valley. So from the valley, they can see this
great stone face.
Yeah, so kind of like a mountain, like right?
Yeah.
And it is
jumble of rocks.
Yeah, and it's in the shape of a old wise man's face.
That's right.
And Ernest loves this thing. He feels if he met this guy who looks like that, he would love him.
And I think everyone believed that this great stone face would protect and then, bring good luck to the people in the village or to the town, right?
And it's believed that one day there's going to be someone who's born in that village.
That's right.
Who looks like the Great Stone Face.
And Ernest, of course, he loves the Great Stone Face, so he really wants to meet this man.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I wonder if he's going to meet him. I'm so excited.
I don't know. Right. Okay, let's read more and find out.
Okay.
Enjoy.
The Great Stone Face. Ernest and his mother sat outside their cottage late one afternoon observing the great stone face that overlooked their valley. The face was a jumble of rocks that suggested the facial features of a wise old man. Some believed that the Great Stone Face was responsible for the success of the farms and factories that lay before it.
Welcome to Live Interactive English Magazine. Today's lesson is called The Great Stone Face. Day 1. Hello everyone, my name is Jeff.
And I'm Mike. And I'm guessing, Jeff, that you're showing us your stone face because you're not showing your emotions. Is that where the stone face comes from? Because you do seem very sort of quiet and unemotional.
Yes, this is the face I use when I don't want to betray any emotion. I'm not angry. I'm not dour. Nothing of the sort. Here I'm being stone-faced. I'm betraying no emotion whatsoever.
Well, that's good, but unfortunately, well, maybe fortunately, our story is not about an unemotional, stone-faced person such as yourself. That might actually be a little boring. Our story is about a great stone face. This is really a face made of stone, and it's not some kind of terrible monster from a storybook. It's actually just a mountain that looks like a face because of the shape of the rocks.
So you're saying it's a literal stone face?
It is an actual, well, it's not actually a stone face. It's even just a mountain that looks like a face that looks like stone. Kind of like that Nixon rock down in Kending.
Oh.
You know that one?
So it's just a mountain made of stone.
Yep.
And the stone configuration there kind of looks like a face.
Maybe with some shadows. Yeah.
And it's also great.
And it's great, of course.
Like it's really big.
It's huge.
Fantastic.
It's famous and very popular.
Anyways, let's get started.
Okay.
The name of our story is indeed The Great Stone Face, and we're not being literal. Okay, we are, being literal, we're not being figurative, I should say, so we will be emotional and filled with energy. Anyways, let's get started with our story. It begins by saying, Ernest and his mother sat outside their cottage late one afternoon, observing the great stone face that overlooked their valley. So here we've got Ernest and also his mother. They're at their cottage. Now, what is a cottage? A cottage is kind of like a small home. Usually, a cottage is a small, simple house near a lake or a beach, and sometimes people go to their cottage on vacation. Anyways, for example, the old woman lives in a small cottage in the valley. Maybe it's next to a river there.
Oh, and maybe some cows in the field across the river.
That's very picturesque.
Thank you. Yes, it's important to point out you will never find a cottage in a city. A cottage will always be out in the countryside, in the mountains, somewhere like that. But if you do see a cottage, you might want to observe it because it is such a beautiful home in the country. To observe, this verb means to watch or to look at carefully. When you're observing something, you're not just putting your eyes on it and saying, hey, look at that. You're watching it carefully, probably over a longer period of time. Scientists will observe animals or the behavior of birds in nature to learn more about animal and bird behavior, possibly. Or you might talk about a police officer observing a suspicious person, watching carefully the actions and movements of this person who they think might be committing a crime. So observing is watching or looking at something carefully and getting information from that. For example, Sharon sat on the grass and observed the moon in the night sky. Maybe she's an astronomer.
There you go. Anyways, more on the great stone face that these people are observing. The face was a jumble of rocks that suggested the facial features of a wise old man. So this wasn't actually a face. This was a jumble of rocks. Rocks have been put together in such a way that they look like a face, but they're not really a face. Anyways, these rocks suggested that this face that they were looking at, this thing that they were looking at, kind of looked like an old man, even though that wasn't the case. Anyways, to suggest something in this case is to give off an impression or to make a certain impression on other people. Here we've got people observing these rocks, and they think that, hey, the way these rocks have been put together, these rocks put together kind of look like the face of an old man, a wise old man. Anyways, for example, the way he walks suggests a very confident man.
And it suggested the facial features of a person. Facial, this adjective, is just a fancy way of talking about things that we find on the face, right? Your facial features are your eyes, nose, your mouth, the way they're shaped, where they are on your face. If you are using some kind of cosmetics, you might use facial cream or facial cleansers or facial soap to clean and beautify your face. And you might get a facial injury if you have an accident, and then you might need facial surgery or operation on your face. Facial equals of the face. For example, I use a facial scrub every night before bed.
Is that for your facial injury?
It's for my facial pores.
Okay, so you're not injured facially on your face.
No, not right now.
Good. Anyways, folks, let's go ahead and read the next sentence. Some believed that the great stone face was responsible for the success of the farms and factories that lay before it. Now here we have the word responsible. Let's talk about this word before we take a break, okay? If something is responsible for something, it kind of made that thing happen. Who did that? Who is responsible for this? Yeah, who did this? Why is this so? Who is responsible for doing this thing? Anyways, for example, a delayed flight was responsible for her being late. Why was she late? Because of the delayed flight. The delayed flight was responsible for her lateness.
That's the reason why.
That's the reason why. There you go. All right, folks, it's time for us to take a break, but don't go away. We'll be right back after this.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。这次要读的故事叫做《The Great Stone Face》人面巨石。好，英文有一个复合形容词 stone-faced， 是指面无表情的。我们也可以用 unemotional 来形容不显露情感的。不过呢，我们这个故事跟这个 stone-faced 这形容词没有什么关系。好，故事一开始提到，有一天傍晚。Ernest 跟妈妈坐在他们小屋外面，在观察人面巨石。这个人面巨石其实只是一堆乱乱的石头，只是它们组合起来那个外观看起来呢，会让人联想到有智慧的老人的面容。好，文中的 jumble 是当名词，表示杂乱的一堆或者是混乱的一团。 好，那这个人面巨石呢，它俯瞰着 Ernest 他们住的山谷。有些人相信人面巨石替他前面的农田还有工厂带来了繁荣。好，这边出现5个单字，第一个是 cottage。Cottage 是名词，它表示乡村的小屋或是农舍。第二个是 observe，observe 它是动词，表示观察、观测或者是注意到。第三个是 suggest，suggest 是动词，它可以指使什么联想到，或者是暗示、意味着。第四个是 facial，facial 是形容脸上的、面部的，像 facial features 就表示脸部特征。Facial cleanser 表示洗面乳，那例句里面提到 facial scrub 是指磨砂洗面乳。Mike 老师还用到 facial pores 是指脸上的毛孔，这个 pore P-O-R-E 就是毛孔。好，第5个单字 responsible 是形容词，形容作为原因的或是有责任的。我们可以用 be responsible for something 来表达是什么什么的成因，造成什么什么。接回到课文中。
The Great Stone Face.
I wish that it could speak, for it looks so very kind that its voice would surely be pleasant. If I were to see a man with such a face, I should love him dearly.
Ernest told his mother. Noting her son's fascination, his mother told him about the prophecy of the Great Stone Face. It was believed that a man who was born in their village would be the greatest person of his time. That man would look exactly like the Great Stone Face.
All right, everyone, we've got Ernest and we've got his mom. They are observing the Great Stone Face, and apparently the stone face is actually kind of great. Apparently, it's responsible for the success that people have in this area.
So it kind of looks down on them like a good luck charm, or maybe even kind of like a god. So they obviously respect this face a lot and think it is very valuable for the health and safety and happiness of their little town. And Ernest is the first person who speaks. It says, I wish that it could speak, for it looks so very kind that its voice would surely be pleasant. This is Ernest looking at or observing the Great Stone Face, thinking that, gosh, I wish the face could speak. It would have such a wonderful, pleasant, or nice voice. And then he says, if I were to see a man with such a face, I should love him dearly, Ernest told his mother. So this is kind of like looking at a statue of a person or something and thinking, wow, wouldn't it be great if the statue could come alive? I'm sure we'd learn a lot and it could teach us so many things. This is what he's imagining about the Great Stone Face. Yeah.
Interesting. Anyways, noting her son's fascination, his mother told him about the prophecy of the Great Stone Face.
There's a prophecy?
There's a prophecy. There's going to be a great story behind this Great Stone Face. Let's learn all about it right now. Get this. It was believed that a man who was born in their village would be the greatest person of his time. And get this, that man would look exactly like the Great Stone Face. Now, this hasn't happened yet.
No, it's a prophecy.
This is a prophecy. But people think that at some point in the future, a really great person is going to come on the scene there, is going to be born in this village, and that person, that great person, is going to look exactly like the Great Stone Face.
But have nicer skin.
But he won't be made of stone.
That's right.
All those statues are made of stone.
True.
You like statues, right?
Well,
You're a statue guy. Anyways, folks, with that, it's time for us to take a break. During the break, we'll be falling in love with statues.
Ernest 跟妈妈坐在房子外面观察人面巨石。他跟妈妈说，他很希望人面巨石会讲话。他看起来这么慈祥，声音一定很好听。如果他能见到某个人有这样的脸，他一定会很敬爱这个人。听到儿子这段话，妈妈就注意到他儿子对人面巨石很着迷，深受吸引，于是就把人面巨石的相关的预言告诉他。原来人们曾经相信，会有一名出生在他们村里的男子会成为当代最伟大的人，而那名男子呢，会长得跟人面巨石一模一样。好，这边有2个补充单字 ，fascination。fascination 是名词，表示着迷或是迷恋。那么 prophecy 也是名词，它是指预言。我们顺便补充一下 prophet Prophet 这个字它可以指先知或者是预言者、预言家。介绍课文中
The Great Stone Face. While most people stopped believing in the prophecy, Ernest hoped that one day he would be able to meet this great person. He spent a lot of his time studying and pondering the great stone face, and this would come to shape the course of his life.
Here's the prophecy, everyone. At some point in the future,
Yeah.
the greatest person of their time is going to be born in the village, and this person is going to look like the great stone face.
That's right. This is a prophecy, though, remember? A prophecy is sort of like someone telling you what will happen in the future, or what myths and legends say will happen in the future. It's not necessarily fact, but a lot of people might believe it. It says, while most people stopped believing in the prophecy, come on, that's not really going to happen, Ernest hoped that one day he would be able to meet this great person. So Ernest has a lot of hopes that this person will come along, will be great, and maybe Ernest himself will get to meet this hero. He spent a lot of his time studying and pondering the great stone face, and this would come to shape the course of his life. Wow, he's a real believer in the great stone face, isn't he?
Not only does he observe
Yeah.
the great stone face,
Yeah.
he studies it.
He does.
He ponders it.
He does.
He considers it in great detail.
He
okay?
ruminates on it.
And get this, he ruminates, studies, ponders on this thing to such an extent that the great stone face comes to shape the course of his life.
Yeah.
It's like his sole purpose for being is the great stone face and meeting the person who is going to look like the great stone face, who
Yes.
might not ever actually live because a prophecy says this person might come, but no one believes in the prophecy.
True.
My head is spinning.
Maybe
I think it's time for us to-
Ernest needs a hobby.
Maybe Ernest needs a hobby, and maybe we need to take a break.
We do.
So let's go ahead and take a break. In fact, that's it for day one of our story on the great stone face. So it's time for us to say bye-bye.
Take care.
Ernest 住的村子里面曾经有一个预言，说未来呢会有一名村里的男子成为当代伟人。虽然大多数的人不再相信这个预言了，可是 Ernest 还是很希望有朝一日可以遇见这个伟人。他就花了很多时间来学习，还有思考人面巨石的事情。那这也逐渐塑造了他的一生。文中有用到 the course of somebody's life， 这是指某人的一生。那么补充单字 ponder。Ponder 它是动词，表示思考或是沉思。老师们用到另外一个动词 ruminate，ruminate 这个动词它也有沉思或是反复思考的意思。那其实这个动词也可以用来指动物的反刍。好了，那么以上是这个讲解，同学们别走开，马上回来哦。大家好，我是 Hanny。在今天的课程中，我们要介绍4个文法重点。第一个是 wish 跟 hope 的比较用法，第二个是 for 做连接词的用法，第三个是 look 做连缀动词的用法，第四个是 if 主词加上 were 加上不定词的句型。首先，我们来学习 wish 跟 hope 的比较用法。Wish 和 hope 可以用来表达愿望，但是两者的用法和意义不同。Wish 用来表达较不可能实现或是跟现在事实相反的愿望，那么之后的子句要用假设法。在表达跟现在事实相反的愿望时，它的句型是主词 wish that， 主词加上 were 或者是加上过去式动词。例如I wish I were the richest person in the world. 但愿我是全世界最富有的人。但事实上，我现在不是全世界最富有的人。那么以 wish 来表达跟过去事实相反的愿望时，句型是主词加上 wish that， 主词加上过去完成式，也就是 had 加上过去分词。例如I wish I hadn't said those words. 我真希望我当时没有说出那些话，但事实上我当时已经把话说出口了。至于 hope 是用来表达可能实现的愿望，之后接直述句，子句的时态要用现在简单式或者是未来式。例如 I hope that you feel better tomorrow. 我希望你明天会觉得好一点。接下来我们来学习 for 做连接词的用法。For 做连接词表示因为 for 引导的子句通常是接在主要子句的后方。例如 I don't know if the town is worth a visit, for I haven't been there before. 我不知道那个小镇值不值得游玩，因为我从来没有去过。接着，我们来学习 look 做连缀动词的用法。Look 做连缀动词表示看起来，后面要接形容词或者是接 like 加上名词。例如 The chocolate cake looked so tasty that I couldn't resist buying it. 那个巧克力蛋糕看起来非常美味，以至于我忍不住把它买下来。那么句中是结合了句型 so 形容词加上 that 子句，表达看起来如此怎么样，以至于怎么样。最后，我们来学 if 主词加上 were 加上不定词的句型。当我们用 be 动词加不定词，是指将要什么什么。而句型 if 主词加 were 加不定词，这是由假设语气跟 be 动词搭配不定词结合而来，用来表示未来发生几率非常低的情况。例如 If he were to accept the job offer, I would be very surprised. 要是他接受那个工作机会，我会感到非常惊讶。以上是今天的重点整理，我们下次见喽 ！See you next time. Bye.
欢迎收看就爱讲英文，我是悠悠。有时候你在上班的时候听到老板或同事说一些话，你觉得你知道人还是想要有诚实的心，
真的
很想要反对，可是你很怕没朋友，要不然明天不用来上班，怎么办？就
忠于自己吧。
该说什么呢？我们要如何用什么方式来反驳对方说的话呢？
好，那就是反对嘛，哈。
反对。
好，我们先学反对跟同意 ，agree， 就同意啊。
对。
反对就 disagree， 简单。OK， 好，那这个不同意呢，其实分好多种，对不对？
哎呦，
委婉的反对，
委婉
部分的反对，
部分
哦，你不要全部给他推翻嘛。
对，
还有霸气的反对。
哇，有种哦，霸气哦，
完全不同意。
这样子会不会被开除啊？
这个同意这个有辱我的人格。
等等啊，我们先来委婉，因为我真的很怕到时候被老板电。
好，
是不是？
那就是委婉嘛。
委婉
哦，就是你要反对之前呢，我们会加一些很软的一些语助词，比如说 frankly。Frank 这个字很好玩，
法兰克，
对，但它也是坦白、诚实的意思。所以呢，我诚实的、老实说啊，这个 frankly 啊，然后后面就把你的真心话讲出来，或者是你也可以说 with respect。With respect，这个字面上就是我带着满满的敬意。我下面这一句话是有 respect 的，对 ，with respect， 然后这一句话出来。对 with respect， 然后后面丢出来炸弹这样。
恕我直言，我真的
恕我直言，我们还可以讲 with all due respect。With all due respect，all due respect 这个 due respect 就是该要有的，该到的这些敬意都要全部到，该到的礼数都有咯。With all due respect。With all due respect， 对，那后面就讲说，我觉得这样不 OK。I honestly don't think it's going to work.
I honestly don't think it's going to work.
对，所以你也可以把 with all due respect 换成刚刚的 frankly. So frankly, I honestly don't think it's going to work.
哎呦，那如果要部分反对，不是全部哦，就是一点点哦。
那就先包后边。
哎，这个聪明。
I see what you're saying.
I see what you're saying.
对，我了解你在说的是什么。
我明白。
我了。I see what you're saying. But don't you think it would be better if we did it this way?
I see what you are saying, but don't you think it would be better if we did it this way? 看到还有没有闭嘴了？
对，我明白你的意思啊，但你不觉得对 ？But don't you think it would be better? It would be better if we did it this way. 如果我们这样做，那是不是比较好？那你有发现这两个动词都用过去式吗？ Don't you think it would be better if we did it this way? 这个都是跟现在事实相反的这个假设，表示很客气，很客气
客气到门口去了。对，但是你也想要平铺直述的，稍微坦白一点点的说。
I see it differently.
I see it differently.
对，我可不这么认为，我有不一样的看法。I see it differently. 对。
那或者说，哎，这对我来说可能是不太 OK 的哟，不太行的，
不太 OK 的哟。
不太 OK 的哟。
That doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't make sense to me.
对 ，make sense 的话就是合理，说得通。That doesn't make sense to me， 就是
doesn't make sense to me，
不 OK 这样。
不太对哦。
对对对，
是不是？那我们是不是可以这个礼貌的提出一个许可？哎呀，我觉得是不是我可以提一下我的想法呢？啊，是不是啊？
其实讲这句话就是
我想俗辣哦。
废话，对不对？
对啊
你要讲你就讲嘛，对不对？但是这个是客气，
是
这个是礼貌。你可以说 May I have a word？
May I have a word？
对，小声的讲，可爱的讲，来。
May I have a word？
对对，这样子 OK，sure。
然后就霸气的反对。
对，
哇
对，
先是小猫，然后就我觉得很逊，
完全不同意。
不行。
I don't agree at all.
I don't agree at all.
I don't agree at all. I don't agree at all. 完全不同意。好，那如果你要唠狠话，放大绝，就是我绝对不会同意。Under no circumstances will I agree to that.
表示你已经想好了第二份工作了。
Under no circumstances 是在任何状况之下都不。Under no circumstances will I agree to that.
我要霸气一点的说。
对，来。
Under no circumstances will I agree to that.
对，绝对不会同意，绝不让步。
绝不让步。
好，
明天就递辞呈。
对，明天不用来上班了。看一下今天的 live action. Any opinions on the new human resources policy?
With all due respect, I honestly don't think it's going to work.
I see what you're saying, but don't you think it would be better if we did it this way?
I'm sorry, but under no circumstances will I agree to that.